Hello, social media friends. This is Beata Seweryn-Reid, and I'm here with special guest. You might wondering, what is she doing here on Friday? Meaningful Conversations, it's Tuesday. Well, who cares what day is it? Today is very special day because I have a special guest for you. We Thought Leadership series that we just started. And well, this man is incredible, very successful. Don't laugh, it's true. Very successful. He has multiple businesses, but the most important, he's an author, he is a speaker, but most important, he is wonderful human. This person that you always want to go to and say, hey, my life is shitty or my business is in that point. And, he will just say, okay, sit, let's talk. He will never say no. He is this person that you can always look up to, and he will be there for you. And it's what I look in leaders. I love leaders that are, leaning to you, not that are going with their heads in the air and say, oh, it's where I am. You never will get here. Anyway, what is his name? Yes. So we didn't release the name. Michael Bridgman. Welcome to the show.
Oh, thank you so much, Beata. What a wonderful introduction. Man, I want to meet this guy. Who is this dude?
I thought you live with him 24/7.
Yeah. Him and I we need more mirrors in my household, obviously. Oh, no, fantastic. Thank you so much, Beata. It's a privilege. It's a total honor to be here. I am really looking forward to serving your audience today. So anybody who pops on here with us, I'm super looking forward to giving you some of my secret ingredients, some of the cool things that have helped me achieve some really awesome stuff in my life. And it's all about making sure that I can pass that over to the next person for me.
Thank you for being here again. And we have, okay, Seweryn-Reid. I'm sorry if I screw up your name again, but I will learn it. She is with us here. So thank you for joining us.
Hello,
I will practice. And Michael, so we are here today because I want to talk to you about very important subject that I know that helped you to get where you are in your life. We're going to talk about thinking in projects and how this thinking in projects helps you to get to the level of success you have.
Yeah.
So before you go there, I know that not everyone knows what is thinking in projects.
Right. Okay. Great question. Okay. So thinking in projects is about thinking what you want to accomplish, thinking about the things that you want to get done, thinking about the achievements that you want to have in chunks. So the best way for me to explain this is actually to use a totally different analogy. So where I started an acting career when I was 10. So I was acting professionally and semi-professionally from 10 years old all the way up until almost 30 years old. And as a performer, as an artist, you're not thinking about what's my next, 6 or 7 years look like. You might think about what you want to have with your career, but you think about that particular project, that particular 6 weeks or 8 weeks, or that particular theater thing, right? Like that particular show, right? That's what you start to think about. And so what it did for me was it started to help me understand that you can achieve incredible things long-term. I mean, look at somebody like oh my goodness, Ian McKellen, incredible actor, right? Gandalf from Lord of the Rings, like just an amazing person, an incredible actor. That guy his trajectory is amazing. He's done over 50 movies. He's done over 20 different just Shakespeare professional shows alone. And he's done hundreds of plays. You can't think about that. Like how many of us have not even finished one project in the last year? And he might do 3 or 4 movies in a year or 4 or 5 movies in a year. So it's like to think about the idea of set the signposts up for an objective that you want to reach, a project you want to finish, and chunk down what it is that you're doing. And that's been one of the secret things that I've been able to do in my life over and over again with my different careers and the different businesses that I own is I think about things in chunks and projects. So rather than think about something massive and long, like what do I want to have the impact of the next 3 years of my life or 5 years? That's great to have that as a long-term objective, but it's hard to sustain that, Beata. It's hard to sustain that. I don't know if you agree with me, but it's hard to sustain that energy, that level of pinpoint focus over a long period of time. So what I've always done is I think in projects. I go, how would I break down this 3-year objective into what I need to do, right? What can I do in the next 30 days or the next 2 weeks or the next 90 days? Like break it down into a small project that I can get done and finished, because the world doesn't react to great ideas. The world reacts to great results.
Okay. So when you talk about this short-term projects, it can be what? 5 days, 3 years? How in numbers it's?
So as I said, being the artist that I am and coming from that background, you would often work in 3 to 6 month chunks. That's it.
Okay.
Right?
3-6
so
months.
I don't view a project as something that's going to take me 1 or 2 years to complete. That might be like that might be a big thing. Like that might be a big endeavor, but you break down that big endeavor into smaller pieces. So I wrote a book last fall, and that book took about 1.5 years to write. Okay. But the actual writing part of the book only took me about 3 months. But the preparation for that, so I was like, okay, I need to do research on this. I need to test these theories this way. I need to put this into practice. So there was a bunch of projects leading up to the actual finished piece of actually writing the book and then getting it all done. And so that was the last 2.5, 3 months project, was writing the book, actually writing the book itself. Whereas I broke out the whole project, the whole big project, let's say, like the whole big chunk of what I wanted to get done, into 5 different pieces, which had to do with research, testing my theories, right? Assembling the stories I wanted to use for the book, and then finally getting to the point of actually just writing it. So that would be how I would break it up.
Okay. And when you are getting prepared for that process, do you write it down? What you do? Because, what we keep in our mind, it's gonna disappear in couple hours because of the distraction. So do you write it down? Do you keep it on your laptop? What do you do? What is Michael's method?
I'll show you.
Show me.
This is one of my secrets. Okay.
Okay. Ready?
Sketchbooks.
Oh, okay.
My wife left me that. That's cute.
Oh, that is awesome. Love it.
Sketchbooks. I've got to have 50, 60 of these already finished, right? And and journaling. So what I do is from a business perspective, right? Because I own several different companies now, and I have sketchbooks for each company.
Okay.
And then of course I've got a personal journal. So between those two things, like when I'm working on my family-owned pet business, I have a sketchbook that's specific to that pet business, and I'll have several of them over time. But I use that, and that's where I project out. That's where I chunk out what I'm looking for. Right? So I literally, and I love a sketchbook because you can write in it, but you can also draw in it. To me, the lines of a journal, they get confining. So I'm like, I don't want lines. I don't want any lines. Bring away the lines. Right? So I'll draw in there. I'll come up with different images and ideas. Right? And I don't draw very well, but it doesn't make a difference because I know what it is I'm getting down. And so being able to use the sketchbooks gives me permission to really lay out what it is. And then sketchbooks, and I wonder if they're in here too. Have I got some? No, I don't have them right now. And then sticky notes. Sticky notes are my friend. So when I'm laying out a project, one of the things that I do, and I learned this from a brilliant woman, her name is Lisa Sasevich. I don't know if you know who she is, but Lisa Sasevich is a brilliant trainer and educator. She taught me to break out a project into chunks by writing down big pieces onto sticky notes.
Okay.
And then putting them up on your window, putting them up on your wall. And then what's great is about a sticky note, Beat, is if you're like, oh, you know what? I actually need that to happen after this. And you can just move your project around directly, physically in front of you as you map it out. And I use that tool all the time. If I'm working on a new project, I will literally write down, okay, I want to take, like, let's say my book, for example, I want to collect stories. And then I want to lay out the chapters. And then so those are all different chunks of the project, or different chunks of writing the book, and different projects within the writing of the book, right? And then what I'll do is I'll rearrange them as far as the schedule is concerned. I go, okay, I want to do this now, and then I'm going to do this after this. And if I look at it and it doesn't logically follow the next step, I've got to rearrange things. But it helps you visualize, because we're visual people. We want to see where the hell we're going. That's what maps are for. But if you're working on a big project, Beata, it's hard to see where you are all the way through to where you'd love to get to, because there's so many steps. But if you can start to break out the bigger pieces, and then inside the story section of the book, I had a number of, I had notes in there, like going, my friend James's story, right? And I would just write James, and then I would write, then there'd be other stories that are in there, and I would just write the names of those stories, and then I could help reorganize them as well. So it was just a way of me really visually organizing it, and then taking a piece of poster paper. Literally, I've got rolls of poster paper in my house where I've laid out the physical strategy.
Wow, that is awesome. Thank you for sharing that secret with us. Yeah. And well, you are my man for sure, because journaling is powerful. And I found it's what I work with, like, every day with. It's also what helps you to keep focused. Yes. When you write it in wherever, it can be on your laptop or can be in a written way. And again, like you said, I'm not perfect at drawing as well, but it's for you. No one else is gonna see it. But you, like you said, you bring these visions that are so foggy out there down, so you can finally see it, and we can say we are. Some people like to hear, some people like to read, but we are visual. 90% of us is visual. And when we see, it brings more and more belief and more clarity about what is next, the next step that you were talking about.
Absolutely.
Now, you kind of went ahead, because my question was, okay, when you work in these projects, and we talked about that before, how does it relate actually to the vision and creating the results that you have today? So how can every person that is average person that is listening to us and watching us, how they can manually take it and implement in their own life, business or life?
Well, that's a great question, Beata. First off, I think you and I would agree with this completely. You got to have clarity in what you want. You know, the great Napoleon Hill in his work, he talks about this idea of drifters never find what they're looking for because they're just drifting around, you know, and I liken it to a sailboat. If you're wanting to sail, my dad's a sailor, so we spent a lot of time on boats. And he's like, if you want to sail to a spot, you've got to know where you're going in order to make sure that you reach there. Like, the wind can blow all around you. Jim Rohn says it beautifully. He says, the wind of opportunity blows on all of us. The wind of desperation blows on all of us. The wind of challenge blows on all of us. The wind of greatness blows on all of us. So everybody is always blown around. But it's those who have the clarity of what they want to achieve and what they want out of life that navigate their way through the wind. Like, the wind can be coming straight at you in a sailboat, but you can still tack your way across the wind to move into that storm. And for me, it comes down to defining what you want. And the clearer, the more concise that is, the more specific your ask is, the easier it becomes on how to know what steps to take. So I know a lot of people in my life that they say, oh, I want to make $1 million, or I want to run a 7-figure company. But that's as far as they go. That's just what their demand is. So when it's never specific, they don't say, oh, I want to make $1 million in the next 2 years. So everybody's going to make $1 million. It's just going to take their lifetime to pull it off. Right? So they're going to get exactly what they ask for, but they don't say, I want $1 million in the next 2 years. Or I want to run a 7-figure company or an 8-figure company, and I want to do it in the next 5 years. They don't get specific, and I want to deliver these things to a customer that looks like this. Like, for example, in marketing, this is a totally different tangent, but I think it applies. The marketing for Just About Pets, my parents and I's pet company, got really good once I identified Margaret. Margaret is the client avatar that we love to serve at the store. And I know exactly who she is. She's 52 years old. She drives an Audi Q5. Like, I know exactly who this woman is, right? She lives in a certain part of the city. Like, I know exactly who she is. And when I got specific, Beata, that meant that no matter what campaign or project I was working on, the destination was clear. I want more Margarets, and I want more by this time frame. And so everything came in line. So if you want to be able to start, you have to start with the end in mind. You have to really clearly articulate to yourself and write it down. And then I love record it to yourself and then play it back. Like, get really intimate and clear on what exactly you want. Then you can start to walk it backwards. But without that clarity, most people, they're literally chasing their tails around because they've asked the universe, ask God, whatever you believe, for something, but they haven't been so specific, so they don't even know when it's going to arrive.
Wow, this is so huge what you just said, because I think I was walking blind for part of my life, wishing for outside world come and deliver, wishing for something finally change in my life for better, but I was not clear. Maybe the word was saying, here you go, I deliver. I was like, I don't want it, because it wasn't what I really wanted. And like you said, when I sat down and started writing, Beata, what do you really want? And I use it in my coaching, these 2 reallys, because usually one really is for somebody else, for your parents, for your friends, for society, who knows? And the second is you, what I really want. And then when clarity is there, you can take the action steps that you said. The next step, it will be much clearer when you will know what do you want.
That's right.
So when you have the clarity, what do you do next?
Well, so once you have the clarity, right, then as I said, you can start to chunk out what's necessary to achieve that. And that's why journaling is so great. Like, that's why it's so important, because it's this, and meditation is too, right? But just ways of finding some peace, finding some stillness, because the most powerful tool we have, Beata, is our imagination. The most powerful tool any human being has is our imagination. And when you marry that up with the will to use it, that's when infinite can happen. That's when anything that you imagine is truly possible of achieving. But you have to give yourself a journaling process, or give yourself some sort of rhythmic process or way or routine or ritual of connecting with your inner voice, so that you can hear the suggestions, so that you can hear the ideas coming in, right? Because the world is loud. Social media is loud. The demands of other people are loud. And here's the thing. I run a media agency. That media agency's job is to get your attention. That's its job. Like, it works for companies, and that's its job, is to get your attention. I'm a professional speaker. My job is to get people's attention, so I'm going to be loud. That's my job. That's my role. But that doesn't mean that the rest of the world doesn't have to find stillness and peace themselves to hear what messages they want to hear. So while the world is loud, the universe is whispering. And it's really important that we take our journaling process and go, this is what I want. and start to listen. How would I want to achieve? And ask yourself the question, what would be the next step? Oh, I would love to get interviewed for shows. Cool. Okay, that makes sense. Yeah, get interviewed, right? Get my message out there. Develop a personal brand. This makes sense to me. Okay, then I can start doing that. And you chunk out that project. And if you chunk out that and you go, okay, in the next, and then you make a defining goal there. See, it's all about clarity all the way down the line. So if it's like, if your destination is clear, and just literally using myself as an example, going, you know what, I want to attract into my life, and I would love to pursue interview opportunities like with the beautiful and amazing and dynamic Beata, right? That's what I would love to do so that her and I can work together to get these messages out there. Like that's part of what I want to do. So then I get a definite specific objective. Well, in the next 6 weeks, I would love to book 15 different interviews, or I would love to book 14, 12, 10, whatever the number is. How many would you like to have? Right? And that's the project. So there's pass or fail. It's ones or zeros. It's binary. Did I succeed or did I not succeed? There is no gray area for me. I either achieved the result I'm looking for or I did not achieve it. And if I did not achieve it, what did I do wrong? Take responsibility, right? But if you think in projects, you can put a start date and an end date, right? And then you go, okay, I have this sandbox. I've got this. This is the fence posts that I get to work in. Did I achieve my objective within that particular project scope?
I just have to say, Seweryn-Reid, nice nuggets while the world is loud, the universe is listening. Of course, because Michael is brilliant. That's why he is here. Well, you said so many golden nuggets, I would say. And this, I just want to add that when you are saying about writing this down and creating this project, it doesn't mean that the universe is gonna deliver when you will meditate. No, you have to take your butt out there and take actions. It's what you did. We connected, we talk about that, and then we said, oh, yes, let's do it. Let's create something cool. So it's not gonna come to you. It's not gonna come to you just because you want it. You have to take actions. And I think you will agree with that.
And you got to power yourself. Like we've got to light ourselves up yet. We've got to energize ourselves because the world, you are a magnet. Beata is a magnet for what she's looking for in life. You are a magnet for it, right? As our mutual friend Dolly would say, what you're seeking is also seeking you.
Absolutely.
Right? You're on a destination. You're hunting each other. But the fact is if you don't empower yourself with energy, aka action, doing something about it, the level of electricity coursing through your magnet, that level of activity, that level of power is muted.
Amen.
So you're going to get muted results, right? Like the way I look at it is if I drive as much power through the magnet of what I want as I can, like I use my actions, I drive as much energy, because action and energy to me are synonymous, right? There is no energy to something just by thinking about it. You've got to do it, right? I have a saying that is, I hate fake it till you make it. I love be it till you are it, right? You got to be that magnet till you just suddenly are that. Like you wake up one day and you're like, holy cow, look at all these speaking opportunities that are coming to me. Look at all this. Why? Because I've been magnetically charged to get this into my life, right? And therefore it's you're vibrating with that energy. So what happens is that speaking engagement, that opportunity, that person you'd love to work with, that new business opportunity, that great thing you'd love to do, right? That vacation you've been wanting to go on, that is also going, oh, here we go, wham, right? And then
absolutely, because you just channel that, you just where we focus, what we focus on grows. So where we put our focus, we have it more. And oh my gosh, this is so brilliant. I love that. And you took away another question that I had, because I know that fake it till you make it is pissing you off. And so my next question is, what else is pissing off Michael?
Oh, that's so funny. You know, that comes back, Beata, from my acting days. Like, as an actor, this is one of my personal struggles. Is at 30 years old, 29 basically, I woke up and I had no clue who I was.
Okay.
I'd been pretending to be other people for the last 20 years of my life. And honest to goodness, there almost was not a period of time where I was not in a show. So, right, from almost 20 years of my life, I did hundreds of shows, right? Many films, many commercials. I was constantly being someone else. And even when I took over my mom's company at 29 years old and I became the CEO of a company, I had no idea what I had no training, none whatsoever. And so this idea of fake it till you make it started to bug me because I hated the concept of fake. Like it really drove me, it didn't resonate with me whatsoever. I had pretended to be all these other roles most of my life, literally pretending. And I'd lost a lot of who I was. So I had this adversary concept to the fake it till you make it, which is where I started to go, no, I have to be the CEO until suddenly I wake up one day and I'm like, that's what I am. Like I've been practicing this long enough. I've developed the skills. I am the leader that I wanted to be. And not that I can't progress, but at least I'm coming from a place of confidence and courage to tackle it, right? I am that thing so I can become more of it. Anyway, that's not really answering your question, but what else is ticking me off?
It is kind of, but go ahead.
So what else is ticking me off? Oh man, you know what? I don't get mad with a lot of stuff, to be honest. I don't get mad with very much. The biggest thing that's probably upsetting me right now is that I'm a believer in solutions. And a lot of the people that I run into in my life are really focused on just simply the problems. And I have yet. So the part that's upsetting me is because I'm such a focused or a solution-focused person, I don't know how to solve that for them. I don't know how to solve it for them. Like I struggle with that, and because I would love to help people solve problems, but in the end, I mean, part of it's not my responsibility, obviously, right?
Yeah.
Part of it, I mean, I'm wearing my Daddy Shark T-shirt.
Yes.
Right now.
Thank you. Yeah.
Because I'm the dad of a 2.5-year-old little guy, and that has been a sobering, like part of my frustration is that's such a sobering experience to realize that I have to let him fail, right? I have to let some people in my life that I would love to deliver solutions to be people that I'm not talking about just some person that I run into at the gas station, but the people that I care about that tend to be problem focused. I'd love to give them a solution, but a part of that solution is they've got to figure out their own shit.
Exactly. I was like, my coaching mind was on like, come on, you cannot, no matter what, you cannot find solution for people. Even if you will present the solution for them, they might be not ready to take it. They might not be ready to experience that. And
isn't that sad?
That is so sad. I'm still sometimes this way because like I just want to serve and it's like, oh my gosh, why don't you do it that way?
Yeah.
This is brilliant. And why you worry about that? And this person is just not ready. So disappointment about not being able to help is killing me from the inside. And I decided that I don't want to have this energy around me and in me anymore. So most of the time, it's hard with people who you really like are close and you love them so much that you see this beautiful vision for them, the beautiful life, and they don't. But again, you have to, like you said, you have to let them experience and have to let them go in their own pace.
Yeah.
They will catch up if they want.
If they want, right? And that's what it comes down to is you can't create, there's as our mutual mentor Les Brown would say, you can bring a horse to water, but you can never make them drink.
Exactly. Right? That is such a great
and we forget that though. Like as people, you and I with servant hearts, we forget that, right? But that's why I love the concept of working in projects, because people, no matter who you are listening to this right now, you can be a different version of you, a better version of you, the best version of you that you've got right now for the next week. You can do that. Like you can do that. If you're stuck or frustrated or going, man, I'm not getting the results I want, you can vibrate at a higher frequency. You can empower yourself with more clarity and energy in the next 7 days. You can do that. You can commit to a 7-day project of being your absolute freaking best. Look at how many Facebook challenges are growing companies out there. Like that is a total, I mean, it's a bit of a marketing gimmick right now, but it's out there because you can change your habits. You can be the best version of you for the next 7 days. And then if you could do it for 7 days, you can look back on that result and go, man, if I did it for 7 days, can I do it for 10? If I did it for 10 days, can I do it for 14? And that's why I love thinking in projects, Beata, because I don't have to do it indefinitely. I can eat better for the next 7 days. I can sleep better for the next 7 days. I could take on a journaling process for the next 7 days as a project and then look at my results. Do I feel better? I've slept better. Do I feel better? No, I don't. Yes, I do. Right? Numbers, zeros and ones. What's the binary objective here at the end? Do I feel better? And ask yourself the question. Like you do a project in the arts world, you put it out there, you give it to an audience. Like the other thing about working in projects too, Beata, that a lot of people forget about is that as a performer, I don't care that you're having a bad day. Show must go on, Beata. Oh, you're having a tough day? Oh, that's too damn bad. There's an audience there at 7 p.m. As the lights come up, you better have your ass on that stage and be ready to rock and roll. Right? That's one of the things that I learned as a performer. You don't get days off. You are on. Means you're there to serve. Don't wallow in what it is that you're challenged with. Serve more people. Like rise above that. The show has to happen.
Okay, Michael, because now we are in some kind of trap here. You said show must go on, and it's so true. And you said, I hate fake it until I make it, until you make it or I make it. So there is a confusion here for some people because show must go on. Yep. But if I don't feel it, if I'm exhausted, if my mindset is not there, should I fake it? What should I do, Mr. Michael?
Great question. Okay, awesome question. So, Beata, you're having let's paint a scenario here. Okay?
Yes.
Beata's having a really challenging day. You're having a really tough day. There's a lot of stuff going on. It's a tough day. You have a scratch and win ticket in your hand. You scratch that ticket and you win $500,000. What just happened to your state?
It increased. I'm like, holy cow.
That's right.
What else is possible?
That's right. So the question I have to ask people every single time, if they're going, yeah, but I'm authentically in a bad place right now. If an outside source can switch Beata from being in a tough, it doesn't make your problems go away. Does not make them go away. If you win $500,000 this afternoon, it does not make your problems go away. Can some of them go away? Absolutely. There are some things you can write a check for and it makes life easier. But the fact is there's some stuff that doesn't, right? But in an instant, you can change your state. And is it unauthentic? Are you excited about the fact that you just won $500,000?
Absolutely.
Totally. Right? And that excitement may last days. It may last hours. So my point is that if an outside source can, at a blink of an eye, snap you into a different state and energy wave, why can't you do it to yourself? You can. There's a lot of, like, as a performer, many of them have rituals that they go through before they perform. And the whole the whole concept of that, like you and I have the chance to work with some amazing speakers. Those speakers,
Right.
a lot of them have a ritual that they go through 15 minutes, 5 minutes, 90 minutes, whatever it is, before they actually go on stage, that puts them in the right space, in the right mindset, in the right vibrational energy to serve their audience. So it's not that they're not authentically struggling with some stuff in their personal relationships. I mean, Les Brown, as you and I both know, he's gone through cancer treatments. He's gone through all sorts of stuff. But when it came time to perform, AKA get on stage and deliver his message and inspire those who are listening, he was there instantly. Was he still struggling with other stuff? Absolutely. Was he in pain? Absolutely. None of that was unauthentic. But he's not letting those challenges get in the way of his purpose.
I love what you just said. This is so huge. So everyone, I just listen to that again, what Michael just said, because it's not about the outside circumstances. It's about what is going on inside you, from starting from your head and ending in your heart. Because when you do, I think all what you just said is about this work, the deep inner work that you have to do.
Yep.
So the outside circumstances, no matter what, you will make it through, and you will always present 100% to people that you serve. You always be there for them. Even the life, we all gonna have life interruptions. Yes. I think, Les Brown says, life is about that you are in a problem, you just heading to the one, or you just
finished one.
Came out. You just finished. So it's gonna happen. It's gonna happen. And now it's not about the problem. It's what you're gonna do with it. And you said it beautifully before, that you are focused on solutions. And when people are focused on problems, it makes you upset, because you know what is possible for them. You know that they can get to the next level. So what do you focus on today, people? Are you focused on the problem or on the solution?
Yeah. And be aware that you're in control. Right? You're in control. Like, you don't have to give up your control. So many people, they just let go of their hands on the steering wheel of their lives, and it's dictated by what's happening around them rather than it's happening within them. And that's what, so that question you said is what, that was a great question, Beata, in going, okay, so Michael, there's a dissonance here. You're saying be authentically who you are, but if you're having a bad day, you got to go and perform. Yeah, because in the end, you're not disconnecting the fact that you have challenges. You're rising through those challenges to be the best version of you. That's all I'm saying. And as an artist, it's just an automatic thing. Like, it's just a part of what you have to go through every day to be a great artist. But we're all artists. I call entrepreneurialism the art of business. Because no matter what we do, we have to take a vision. And that's why projects are so great, Beata, is because you can take the idea of something you want to achieve in the next 3 months that does not yet exist. At one point, this show that you're doing right now was an idea for you, not a reality. Am I right?
Absolutely.
Yeah. So what happens is you're literally going, I'm imagining this show. It's in my mind first. And now the artist in me is going to carve it into existence. As the great Michelangelo said, the statue of David was already in the marble. Beata, the masterpiece, is already inside. Michael, the masterpiece, is inside. If you're watching this, listening to this right now, your masterpiece is already inside you. All we got to do is, you and I together, we got to work hard to carve out that masterpiece from the marble. That's our responsibility.
Absolutely.
I'm a big believer in going, my job is to ask for the what, not to figure out the how. It will come to me.
And just to add what you just said about this being an artist, we are all artists because life is our stage, and we perform every single day. Is it in a business or in life? It's all together.
Yeah, For sure. Yeah. And that's why thinking in projects is so powerful, because you don't have to make an endless commitment.
Right.
I'm committing to getting this done in this 3 months or in this 2 weeks or in this 5 days. You think about and then go, what worked for me? Like, be in a process of sort of evolution of going, what worked and what didn't work. Loved on Tuesday when I was super on the ball and really energized. Wow, I had a shake that morning. I worked out. That was great. Blah, blah, blah. Like be in the process of evolving yourself, because you're not finished. And if you work in chunks, if you work in project timeframes, you can then go back and go, what worked for me? What didn't work for me? Did this project do what I wanted it to do?
Absolutely. And John Maxwell, I think he said that there is no finishing line if you focus on your vision. Mm-hmm. There is no finishing line when you believe that your life still goes on. There is no finishing line if you decide to go after your dreams, goals, visions, projects. But what you just said, thinking in projects, these short-term visions are more tangible for us to achieve than thinking about something that is going to happen 10 years from now.
That's right. And just because you, like what John Maxwell was saying is brilliant, right? If you want to have an incredible, rewarding life full of love and all the great and all passion and importance and value, there is no finishing line to that. But there are stages to it. There is going, I'm better at this than I was 3 weeks ago. Why? Because I got better results. Because I come from a business world, there is checks and balances for me, right?
Right.
And so in the end, to me, I believe in a binary. Is this the result I wanted or not? If it's not, what did not go the way I expected it to? I might have made poor decisions off the front, and that's fine. I might have thought this would have a certain result and it didn't have that result. That's fine. But just analyzing it so you can get better. It's like iterations of progress, right?
Absolutely.
Nobody starts out fantastic. Like, nobody starts there. You look at all the great artists of the world, they don't start out being absolutely brilliant. The great athletes of the world, they don't come out of the womb being able to skate like Connor McDavid, being able to shoot a basketball like LeBron James, being able to soar through the air like Michael Jordan. They don't come out that way. They iterate their way. They practice their way. They go, within the next 3 weeks, I want to be able to run this particular fast. That's how Usain Bolt trains, right?
Right.
Iterations of progress.
And just to summarize what you just said, is who said that? You don't have to be great to start, but you have to start to be great.
Yes.
And it's all about that. Short projects, short time thinking. It's just start. Just start today.
Yeah.
Michael, I would like to acknowledge our audience because they are all sending us love and thumbs up. We have Garlene, and you just got invited to her deep talks, and she's from India. Yes, so you can, and she is awesome. She's my friend. When she was my guest, we had like millions downloads. So
wow.
Yes, yes. So I'm sure you're gonna connect together, and we'll see where does it gonna take you on. Maybe on the stage to India. Who knows?
Beautiful.
That possibilities are endless. Yes.
Boundless. Yeah.
Michael, what would be your final thought, your final advice for people watching us right at the moment who are not quite sure where to start with this thinking in projects, where to start creating these visions that can bring them the results that they really want and deserve?
Okay. So I'm gonna have a caveat to what I said before, because we talked about the fact that having like a big vision for your life and having that clarity, right? And not maybe even just the next 5 years is really important. But if you're not used to that process, it can be overwhelming, right? It can be a really big ask to say, okay, what do you want the next 5 years or 10 years to look like? Let's be super specific, right? That can be a really big challenge if this is your first sort of leap into dictating what you want out of your life. So I would narrow that down. Whenever I start working on a project or a new business opportunity or new venture with anybody, I use a question that I got from the amazing Dean Graziosi. He gave me this question in one of our small masterminds that we did together, and I love it. He said, ask yourself and the other person what it looks like if everything goes beautifully in the next 12 months.
Beautiful.
So, and then from there, so if you ask that question, if you sit down, you get to a quiet place, you grab yourself a glass of wine or a cup of coffee like I do. There we go, Vancouver, BC. Everybody do a shout out to Vancouver, BC. If you sit down in a quiet space and you grab a pen and you grab a piece of paper and you say, if my life is beautiful and goes beautifully for the next 12 months, what does that look like in 12 months from today? What does a day in my life look like? What am I doing? Who's in my life? If you ask yourself that question, you can get clarity on the next 12 months. I think anyone can do that. 5 years might be a long time. 10 years might be a really long time. What do I want my life to mean is a really epic question. But we can start with going, okay, if everything goes beautifully, what does it look like in 12 months? And then from there, ask yourself this question. What can I do this month, the next 30 days, to help that vision come true?
That's beautiful.
And start there.
Beautiful and deep and possible. It's possible for all of you.
Yeah.
So just start with these two questions and you can let us know where you are. We are here to help you. So, Michael, what is the best way to reach out to you and get to know you more?
Well, clearly you can call me. My phone's been ringing off.
Absolutely.
Sorry, I use my office here at the pet store as a multi-functioning office. So I run 3 different companies out of this office. So it's a busy spot. Next time I have to take the phone out of the office, Beata. I got to remember that. Sorry about that.
I'm going to give you a hard time later about that.
Okay. So the best thing to do is go to michaelbridgman.ca. If you want to connect with me, michaelbridgman.ca is the best spot. You can find me certainly on Facebook at Michael Bridgman page is my business page, or you can check out my personal profile. Either one is cool. Those are the best ways to reach me. And then beyond that, I've got a YouTube show, an interview show, very similar that I'm sparking up. So you can also track me down on YouTube. Go to just type in Michael Bridgman and you'll find me there on YouTube.
How about Facebook?
Yeah, same thing.
Yeah.
Michael Bridgman page, is my profile on Facebook. Or you can just type in Michael Bridgman and I'll be right there.
Thank you so much. And I have one last question.
Yeah.
What was it's from your previous life, previous career.
Okay.
What was the most challenging role you played?
Oh, most challenging role. I played Charlie from Flowers for Algernon.
And we can find it.
No, you won't be able to find it. It was it was a semi-professional role.
All right.
So it didn't go up anywhere. But Flowers for Algernon is the story of a autistic child that is given he's slow, and he's given medication that makes him super intelligent. And then, but what he realizes is he becomes super smart, and he starts doing his own experiments and going, okay, what's this drug going to do? And then Algernon is his pet mouse that they're also doing the drugs on. And the mouse becomes super smart. And then the mouse regresses.
Oh, wow.
And then falls back to where it was. And so the story is about his journey to becoming super smart and living what is more of a normal life and having a girlfriend and doing all these things because he's a young adult. But then also being smart enough to suddenly realize that what the scientists haven't figured out yet, which is that this is not going to last. This will be very temporary.
Wow.
And then him coming to grips with that fact and then regressing back. And yet having the memory of that beautiful life that he got to live for a little while, and then bringing that into his new life, right, as lessons and as parts of what he learned and Yeah, it's a very powerful story. So that was
I
probably
have chills. I have chills because this is great ending to this show. Because I'm finding in this story that you just shared, it's about life.
Yeah.
Everything is temporary. And this what we go through now, and maybe it's challenging for you, it's temporary. It will pass, but there is something better for you waiting. The vision so think in projects, create the vision that you want to live and never give up.
Absolutely.
All right, Michael, thank you so very much for being here with me today. And I hope you will be back. It was so powerful. And by the way, I'm going to release that secret. I planned for 30 minutes, but it was too powerful to stop there. So it's almost an hour and we could still talk. So I love it. Thank you so very much. Please reach out to Michael at michaelbridgman.ca, Facebook, YouTube channel, wherever. Just Google him, you will find him because he's brilliant. He is awesome and he has great heart for help. So if you need anything, please do it. Please, if you are watching it on replay, say replay, hashtag replay. Let us know what is exciting in your life, what was exciting to hear in this show, and what would you like to have more? Thank you so much. Have a wonderful day wherever you are.
Ciao for now, everybody.
Ciao, ciao.